Hey guys, it's Christina of CraftyPaws. I wanted to come on and share a process video on how I made these two angel wing Christmas ornaments. This one is kind of a vintage style, more neutral tones, and this one is a shabby chic style that I made for my friend Jane, who's hosting a Christmas ornament giveaway challenge. Jane, I hope you like this ornament, and I hope you all enjoy this process video. I've had this die called Angel Wings from Sizzix for about a year, and this is the first time I've had an opportunity to use it. It cuts two different wings, and because they don't kind of go together, you'll see here, I decided instead I was going to cut out the wings twice so that I could get two sets of wings that coordinate better together. Then I folded a piece of music paper that I had gotten from Crafty Carolina Gal, folded it in half, and run it through the die so it cut out each of the wings 4 times. Now I'm going to just use a little matte Mod Podge and adhere that music paper directly to the chipboard. I put a thin coat of Mod Podge on because I don't want any wrinkling or rippling, and I use an old paintbrush that I use specifically just for adhesives like Mod Podge or glue, and I make sure that I keep that separate from paintbrushes that I use for regular painting. So I wanted to antique these wings, so I thought I would take my Tim Holtz Distress Ink in Antique Linen and in Tattered Rose and just distress the edges. And I think these are very... The Shabby Chic set has the Tattered Rose, and that is going to be for my friend Jane, Alterjunkie. She's asked for a ornament for her Christmas ornament giveaway challenge, and the neutral set is actually going to be for my mother-in-law. I've been getting the feeling that she's feeling a little bit neglected as I'm hosting this birthday card challenge for her mother, my grandmother-in-law, so I wanted to do something to let her know that I'm thinking of her as well. So for the first set of angel wings, this is the neutral set for my mother-in-law, I am just gluing the two wings together with hot glue, and I'm taking some pearl bead sprays that I had been gifted from V, who's Virginia 1468, and I thought that would be a nice kind of underlayer. And in the center there, I'm putting a beautiful doily that I got from Julie, Thrifty Paper Garden, from her store, TPG Crafts. And that Venice lace right there is also from Julie's shop. And I'm just layering it in underneath so that it looks a little bit like feathers, but you know, obviously lacy ones. And I'm just securing that down. And I have little snippets, little leftover pieces of that same Venice lace, so I thought I would just layer that in. I'm securing the pearl bead sprays down a little bit there too because it was starting to stick up a little bit. And I'm making obviously the left and the right the same, and hot glue is working beautifully to adhere everything. Now for that centerpiece, I wanted to put in some more layers, have that focal point, and so I'm layering in some crocheted flowers that I was gifted by Patricia, who is Pat S here on YouTube. For the back loop, for the hanging piece, I'm just using a little bit of hot glue and some crocheted trim from my stash. To cover that up, I'm using a little kind of applique piece that's from an old shirt that I had, and I've salvaged the little applique there. It's vintage. And for the centerpiece there, I thought I would use a little bit more of some beautiful lace trim, also from TPG Crafts, and it's 3 little flowers that I thought would top off that little applique piece. And for the final little embellishment, I'm attaching a little gold trimmed rose, a resin rose that was gifted to me by Carmen, who makes Nana 2012. And I think that finishes off this ornament really nicely. Now for the second set of angel wings, this one is the Shabby Chic version for Jane. I'm using some pink eyelash trim. It has some pale pastel pink as well as silver in this eyelash trim, and those were colors that Jane specifically asked for in her ornament. So I'm making the little loop with that, and I'm trying to figure out how to cover that. And I try out a variety of things, and then I decide, ooh, yes, this little wedding dress applique that was gifted to me by Beth of Beth's Scrapbook Room would be perfect for this. So that's going to be the main detail in the back. But when I put it on there, it was a little bit small, and it kind of, the edges looked a little too kind of harsh. So I decided to add some of that pink and silver eyelash trim to the back of that, so it would soften the edges of this applique, and I think fill the space a little bit better on the back side of these angel wings. So I try it on for size this way, and I decide, ooh, I need a little bit more eyelash trim. So I put in 2 extra layers of eyelash trim on both sides of the wings. Perfect. So now I can put that applique on, and it looks like it's fitting nicely on the back side of those angel wings. For the front side of these angel wings, I decide I want some kind of movement and dimension, and I find these crystal beads on a wire base that I had been gifted by Virginia. Again, Virginia 1468. And I think that adds a really funky, cool dimension and some texture, some visual texture. So I decide I'm going to do that, and then I'm trying to figure out how best to cover up kind of the mechanics of those wired crystals. So I first hot glue those on, and I'm putting a lot of hot glue on and trying to make sure that it stays secure. And I realize I need some trims that are kind of thicker, so I take more of that applique trim from my old shirt, and I'm cutting out some of the roses from it. And this is like a cotton applique, so it's thick and there's a good weight to it, and I figured that would be good just to cover up the wire base of those crystal trims. And I secure that on, and then I think I need to kind of soften that up a little bit more. So I decide I'm going to add a couple of pink and kind of crystal wheat sprays. And I thought that would add a nice kind of direction and more sparkle to this. And I decide I can tuck that in on top of these flowers, which then I'll be able to cover up with some beautiful lace flowers from a gorgeous lace piece from flairbymee.com. That's Melanie's shop. And I think that covers up the mechanics of those pink wheat sprays perfectly. Then I take another piece of that same beautiful lace, and I'm trying to figure out how I can use little parts of that lace piece to cover up more of the mechanics. So I'm cutting out the center floral piece in one of the scallops, and I'm hot gluing that between the 2 other flowers, and I'm securing the leafy kind of flourish underneath. And I like how that looks, but I think I need some more softness and more pink color, so I'm adding more eyelash trim, kind of just tucked behind the 2 side flowers. And I think that adds a really nice softness, a little sparkle, and a little bit more color. Now I'm taking the last bit of that beautiful lace trim, and I'm using the scallops to cover up the transition from the flower applique, the cotton flower applique, to the metal crystal trim. And I think that covers it up really nicely. I cut that big scallop in half, and I'm using that on either side of the angel wings. Now for the fun blingy part. I'm adding a flat back pearl between the 2 scallop pieces just to add a little sparkle down there toward the bottom. And then for the main focal point, I found this beautiful pearl and rhinestone flower center that was made and gifted to me by Carmen, Makes Nana 2012. And then I thought it would be nicely framed by 3 flat back heart kind of pearls. So I put 2 on either side, and then I'm looking for a place for that third one, and I think perfect, right underneath the big flower center bling. And I think that finishes off the second set of angel wings. I think it came out kind of glam and shabby chic. If you enjoyed this process video, please give this video a thumbs up. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you're having a wonderful crafty day. Bye.